Alright everybody, Monkeypuzzle here, and it is time for some more Primitive Unlimited. Primitive Plus on the center, our little server here, and we are back in our little village on the tropical island north. So last I left you, I was starting to work over here. You see I've made some progress on a kitchen for the village. Kitchen, bakery. Let me see the full list of things that should be here. Future home of the PU, the Primitive Unlimited, kitchen, cafe, bakery, juicery, and fine dining. Thatch surveying in progress. So that is exactly what I'm doing here. I cleared this off last time. This was originally our starter thatch hut that got partially destroyed by a dino. I cleared it all off last time. It spawned back with rocks and trees and stuff, and I cleared it again, and now I'm just going around with these thatch foundations and trying to figure out what my levels are, how far I can spread them on the different heights of the hill here. So I could use ceilings from here and just go straight out, but I'm going to try to do it with just foundations again. I like the solidity of them, and I'm just hoping I can actually incorporate that into the design as well. I think it's kind of, I don't know, I'm not always satisfied with bridging out with the ceilings like this. So we'll see what I can do. But here I left this thing just to show you how I started out with this, because I wanted this to all be aligned with our Adobe Plaza here. So I started with a wall right here and then went out with a couple ceilings, put down a pillar, which allowed me to go a couple ceilings further, and hit the point where I couldn't go any farther that way and I needed to go up. So, couple pillars, couple ceilings, another pillar, and then this, where you see this and this over here, this is a method for raising foundations above the level that you're set at. So I used that to raise up to this level, and then got this far till I stopped, and used this to raise up to this level. And this is the one that can actually cover the top of the hill. One of these foundations here somewhere is about as low as it can be and still go over here. So that's just a little method to my madness here. Obviously I'm not going to leave it all in thatch. I'm not going to leave any thatch actually, unless I think it aesthetically works somewhere. I'm mostly going to use this with the new materials that come with Primitive Plus. So it's going to be in concrete and brick and lumber, and we'll see. And yeah, it's going to be more than just a kitchen. It's going to be a whole dining area. So these first two levels right here are probably going to be decks with chairs on them. And then this one as well. Maybe I'll join this one up with this one. We'll see. And then some of these levels right here is actually going to be an extension of the Adobe Plaza. So we have a nice little wide avenue coming up to it. And then it won't be till you get to probably this level here, or maybe the next level. We'll see how it goes, where we'll get to the actual kitchen proper. And there's a lot of things we can set up for that. There's grills, and there is cauldron, and there is a baking oven, and a bunch of stuff that I haven't even learned yet. I've opened up the Wikia page for consumables for this, and there's so many different things. Oh yeah, there's a juicer or a squeezer or something to make juice out of all the berries, and so on. And I'll probably combine it too with some crop plots and have some of the things here growing to help serve the cafe, and also just to decorate with. Over there in O'Reilly's, his little floating garden there, we saw some like grapes and camellias and so on that will look really good as part of the landscaping of this. So that's pretty much it. I'm gonna work from here. I probably should show you just once, demonstrate this raising foundations technique if you haven't seen it, because it's one useful thing I can impart. So say I want to go further out with a foundation here. but in this part of the hill now it's too low. It won't work. So we still want to keep aligned with this, so we can't freehand place. So we put a pillar there, but that's not going to get us there, right? That's actually going to do it one step lower. That's how you lower foundations. But if I put a ceiling on top of this, and then we can put a pillar in a slightly raised position. You can see those little diagonal bars going higher, or these little horizontal ones going up. And then now I can put a ceiling on top of that. Oop, didn't place it right there. And then I can then even go higher, right? And take another foundation, another pillar, go the next level up, and we can keep doing that. And each time you do it, you test, see if you've got there. So that was it. It took 3 pillars going up, and now we have a foundation on a slightly higher level, and that would probably be necessary for the next stage up. So that's how you raise foundations. And then one more thing before I start building is that I showed you last time, way out there in the ocean, Whitman has started a floating wheat farm, and we're going to need that for the wheat, for the baking, for the bread. And the bread comes in a couple different ways. Besides eating the bread itself, the plain bread, you can also make honey bread, and then you can combine bread with some of the other cooked things to make meals. I believe. We will see. Or maybe that's just rice and cabbage, and I don't know. We'll get there. I got to take my cooking class first. But I went over to Whitman's wheat farm just before I started recording and learned that it had run out of fertilizer. So that's not good. So I talked about this last time, but in here in the hand mill, we're going to do a new recipe for making fertilizer that's unique to Primitive Plus. This is the bone meal fertilizer. And so it takes keratin and hide and rotten meat and charcoal. I threw as much as I could of all this stuff in here, so we'll see how much we can make. So that's 127. Still not very much because there's 20 crop plots over there, but it's going to be enough to get some fertilizer in there. So I'm going to leave that making, and then we'll go over there and we will check out the wheat farm in a second. In the meantime, I'm going to keep grinding materials for all the lumber foundations and the concrete foundations and the brick walls and all that stuff that I'm going to use to build this. And I was thinking about building this on camera, but it's such an elaborate project that will use up 20 minutes or half an hour and not even get part way into it. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and proceed, and then when I get somewhere good, maybe at the end, maybe part way, I'll bring you back and show you my progress. Alright, the bone meal fertilizer is done, and I even got a level out of it. So I think I'm going to give that one to stamina, and I need the engram points too because there's so much stuff to learn in this mod. I want stamina because I'm pumping up my oxygen as well because there's no scuba in here, and I'm finding myself still getting tired when I try to swim underwater. So let's go check out the wheat. Grab a water bug here again. Raleigh's boat. I gotta make me one of these myself pretty soon. They're really good at going through the sand. So if we just go a little bit out here, we'll see it render in. I showed this to you last time, but there was no wheat in it. So we're gonna see some exciting wheat in just a second here. Alright, so that should do it. It's probably gonna throw me into the water here. Oh no, it didn't. Okay. So I don't think these have gotten any bigger. It's still a seedling, so it's not fully grown, I guess. But here it is. There's some fresh wheat. And when I came out here a minute ago, it was at 10, and now it's at 8. So they've definitely been decomposing. Oh, and these have a spoil timer on them. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and collect all this wheat up and put fertilizer in here. I got to figure out how many fertilizer each they get, but I'm going to help keep this going so that we'll have enough wheat to make a whole bunch of bread. And it grows really slowly, why there's so many of them here. Anyway, I'm going to work on the restaurant kitchen thing. Okay, I spent a bit of time on it, and I think I have a plan now. Kind of letting the landscape inform a lot of the shape, but still making sure that I've carved out a space for each of the uses that I think that this thing will need, and kind of make it fun and realistic. So we'll see. But what I'm thinking is, first, these first couple tiers are going to continue to be the adobe foundations right there. And these will kind of be where the courtyard leads into the whole kitchen complex, restaurant, bakery, cafe, juicery, fine dining, everything. So you'll come up through here. This will be adobe. Now over here in this area, this will be the bakery cafe. So this will be for bread and for coffee and tea, stuff like that. And then this will be a deck with seating for the bakery cafe. So we'll see how that goes. And then up here we'll get more into the kitchen restaurant proper. It's not a restaurant where people will buy things. Obviously this will be available for everybody to use, but kind of making it look like that anyway. So the kitchen proper will start in here, maybe expand out into this area. And then over here we'll put a bunch of glass windows. And this will be one of those fancy oceanfront restaurants, you know, where you take your parents out after you graduate or whatever. And then this here will be a deck also for seashore seating for the more expensive meals. So that's most of it, and I have an idea of the materials that it's going to take for that. And I still, of course, need to learn how to make a lot of the foods and stuff. I haven't even gotten into that yet, but I figure the longer this takes, the longer they'll have to patch everything and make everything work. And hopefully, by the time I'm done with this, you'll be able to cook poultry. So I've got a bunch of materials I put some time into making, because a lot of these will take a lot of grinding to do. So I've got adobe foundations, I got concrete foundations and concrete pillars and some brick stuff, and I got some more brick smelted over there so I can make some more pieces, and a bunch of lumber stuff, and started to make some seating and all that. And I also smelted a bunch of glass, but you can't use like this. You have to combine with the planks to make different lumber building parts with that. But these you make by smelting crystal and pearls together. I think it's 2 pearls to 5 crystal in a forge. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put all those in position. I'm not going to make you watch the play-by-play because you know how ARK building goes. And then hopefully I'll bring you back with all the foundations laid out. We shall see. Alright, so I got that done, and I spared you guys most of the hassly, finicky bits. So here it is. We've got the Adobe Plaza, like I said, extended, coming up the hill here, and then left a little bit of it here as a little pathway to the various parts of the dining complex here, the food court, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I got that deck done and managed to get it all lined up like I showed you. Took a bit of work, but it's all done. No pillars poking through. And we got our concrete floors here, so for the bakery and the kitchen, and then more of the hardwood floors, the lumber floors, for the fancy dining area and the dining patio. So next episode, we will build up the walls on this and actually complete the thing. And who knows if we'll actually get to cooking in the next episode or not, but we're going to at least get the building done so we can move on to the actual part that this is all for. In the meantime, I am Monkeypuzzle. So thank you for joining me, and thank you for watching until the very end. Please leave me all your great comments and suggestions down below. In the meantime, I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.